What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club podcast. This is Mike here. I know you haven't heard from me on an episode in quite some time, but before we get started with this episode, I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer and tell you that this episode is riddled with audio issues. Now, we have an inherent echo problem with everyone's audio other than Ty. Now, I'm not actively recording these episodes myself right now, as I just cannot make the time to sit down and record podcast episodes with a 3-week-old baby. So I want to give a special shout out to Ty Payne, Austin Deckard, and Ethan Slaughter, as well as the rest of the Edison Club media team for continuing keeping the podcast going in my absence. And there is an ongoing investigation as to what could have caused this echo issue. I also want to give a special shout out to Who Needs Meta for doing his best to try to correct the audio echo issue, as I know it doesn't really give you quite the best listening experience having this amount of audio echo. But I wanted to go ahead and upload the episode anyway, just because Who Needs Meta took a lot of time out of their schedule to sit down and chat with us for an hour. So hopefully you can get through this episode and still enjoy it to some extent. But if you can't, I promise that we'll get this issue solved very soon, and I will be back as your Edison Club podcast host in the very near future. So without further ado, I'll let you guys get to the episode. This is Mike from the Edison Club, signing out, guys. Hope you enjoy it.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Edison Club podcast. I'm your host, Ty Payne, filling in for Michael Ward for tonight, and with me are my two good friends and teammates, Enraged Peacock, aka Austin Deckard.
Yo, yo.
And my other teammate, Ethan Slaughter, aka Radis Lad.
What up, what up?
And tonight we have a very special guest with us, who's known for really covering all the Yu-Gi-Oh! That is retro. We have Who Needs Meta. Who Needs Meta, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thank you all very much for having me.
Of course. So tonight I'm gonna let we're gonna let Ethan take over and start off with asking questions and whatnot.
Yes, sir. So this is our first introductory question that we usually ask people, just because I feel like it's the one that relates to everything else, and it's not one that even I've asked you before. So I'm excited to hear your answer. But how did you get into Yu-Gi-Oh?
It was like 4th grade. Some kid was like, "Hey, I got these cards." And we were just looking at them because I had tons of Pokemon cards and stuff, and we were just like, "Oh, this is cool." He was like, "Yeah, there's this show," and I remember I went to Toys R Us, and there was a bin. It was like a metal, kind of like metal bin, and it had a divider, so cylindrical bin divider, half a Legend of Blue Eyes, half Metal Raiders, because that's all that was out. So I started playing right around the start of 4th grade, which I believe was 2002. So I started in September, October 2002 for Metal Raiders, and that's kind of how I got into it. He had Forbidden Memories on the PS1. I also have Forbidden Memories, so we play that game. I still have the original sleeves he gave me in 2004. I still have a couple of them somewhere in a bin, so I have. I never get rid of everything. Everyone it's "Oh, you're an absolute hoarder." It's yeah, I'm a hoarder with 3 base set Charizard. So. I remember I was moving, and I was moving one time. My mom was I was looking for something, and my mom was like, "Oh, it's in the tub with your boxes." I was like, "My boxes?" And she's like, "Yeah, look in the garage." And so I open a tub in the garage, and there are boxes to almost all my Nintendo 64 games. She saved the cardboard boxes for all of them. So I have my N64 box, my Wii box, my PS2 box with the manual unopened, and a Smash Brothers completing box, Star Fox 64 completing box. It's crazy how we never get rid of anything. A friend of mine who wanted to play Primite was like, "Hey, I want to play, I think, Beast of Tau War because it's defense. Do you have one?" I was like, "I absolutely still have my childhood Beast of Tau War. That card looks awesome."
I love that. I love that card. That was
the normal monsters back then just can't be replicated now. Their artwork is just so amazing.
Do you have a favorite vanilla? I think mine is probably Serpent Knight Dragon. I think that card looks bad.
Mine is hands down Celtic Guardian. 100%.
Okay. I always like that, and I like Garcia and Elefantis.
Mine is actually
Dragon for me. That counts.
Mine's blue, like Blue Eyes White Dragon and Beast of Talwar.
There you go. I gotta play Primate, I guess. I don't know anything about any of those cards. I pulled the Ultra packs and I was like, gave it to a friend. I was like, sell this on TCG for me.
I have like a vendetta against Beast of Tall War. I'm gonna be real. So I don't know if you've ever opened like OCG product before, David, but listen, there's this 10, okay? And it comes with 5 packs, and on the front it has Yugi and it has Blackluster Soldier on the front. It says guaranteed ultimate rare inside. And you open it, and it's 5 packs banded together, like all the good ones, like Thousand Eyes Bible, everything, like the first 5 sets for besides like Volume 1, Volume 2, like that stuff.
Like
And-
no Bandai stuff.
no Bandai stuff. No Bandai stuff. No, it was definitely Konami who did it. Yeah. But strapped to it is a ultra rare Beast of Tall every time. It's the same one every time. I'm just like, I as a kid was like, oh, I can't wait to get this ultimate rare Blackluster. So, huh? I was not happy.
That's still the Gen 1 text box stuff on too, right?
Not this one. No. This was after. So I don't know what point in time they switched, but for example, there's no copy of Spirit Reaper printed in Japan that early that has the OG text box. It's only the updated one that came after it. And I know that's what the Beast of Tall War was. So I'm thinking it's like after they bundled the packs together and they had been out for like maybe 1 or 2 years. And then they just were like, here, have this. It comes with a guaranteed ultimate rare inside. No, it doesn't. It does not. It absolutely does not.
Yeah, I bought
OG
it for,
text
like,
boxes go so hard.
that's what I was getting ready to say. Is I bought a handful of like OCG Ultimates like over the years because our local they don't care if we use OCG because we basically run it. So they have a lot of really cool ultis that they don't have in like, DCG like Thousand Eyes Restrict, like different things like that. And my Sinister Serpent is an Ultra, but it's got that old school text layout box, and I love it so much. It just hits different.
I
I
had
had one of the
a,
Ulti Thousand Eyes Restricts. I bought a CP Metamorphosis off eBay, like I don't know, 6 years ago, and the guy included a bunch of like random cards in with it that were like GOAT era, and one of them was an OCG Thousand Eyes, and I don't really do any OCG stuff. So I just gave it to a friend. I was like, "Yeah, you like OCGs? I don't care," but it looked really sick.
yeah, I had a whole entire GOAT deck. First OG printing, max rarity during COVID. I got it online for like $800 and ended up selling it for like 15, 16, like during the middle of COVID. And I still miss it to this day. Everything was, I don't know if you've ever seen the ultis for Jinzo and for BLS and like Blade Knight, but those ultimate rares just hit in a way that I cannot even like compare to nowadays. The card stock is just amazing in itself. But Jinzo, like the ultimate rare Jinzo from Japan, you can see the smoke in the background literally coming off the card. Bro, I didn't even know there was smoke on a Jinzo, but it's there. Like,
Yeah, I bought one of those and actually gave it to Keegan for his birthday, like the after the first or second year of doing like a bunch of stuff with the RBT. That's what I got him. His favorite card is Jinzo, so I got him an OCG Ulti one because he didn't have it in his little collection. So
Jinzo has aura. Jinzo definitely has aura.
For sure.
Have y'all ever cracked open those OCG character structure decks?
Yes, I actually.
Let
Me
me
and Michael, we had 2 of them. I brought them for Yugi Kaiba format at Nats. Actually, we sat down and like did a video on it, and he like did a 2-parter for it. But I literally just got both those decks and like made them as fair and as playable as possible, essentially, because they all came with like Cyberjar and like all kinds of other stuff like Monster Reborn and Raigeki. And I was like, well, these games are ending in like 2 or 3 turns, so I gotta change this. But
can I say that like from what was in those decks, we compared to the ones that we were given in America, we got fucking hoed.
Oh my god, we got hoed so bad. Dude, they came with 66 cards each. 66.
The second Kaiba one is the most broken one. It's got Ring of Destruction. It's got Crush Card Virus. It's got Cyberstein. It's got Shrink. What did we get over here? They make Shrink and Crush Card prize cards. And Cyberstein. Literally. Like, there's 3 prize cards in the Kaiba deck. Do what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Crush Card being a prize card might be for the best. When we play like Troop Dupe and Perfect Circle, we're like, no Crush, no Start. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%,
those cards,
100,000%.
aren't in the format. I don't know what to tell you. They
Yeah.
are, but they're not.
Dark End. Like Dark End is fine because they were playing in circulation, but Crush Cards are no. Like I'm not trying to. I'm not.
So Darkin will help you win games. Crush Card will win you the game every single time.
Yeah.
Outlier.
I played like Teledad and stuff, and it's like it's a blowout in like 90% of matchups.
It is, yeah. I agree. I do gentlemen's on those too. Like I love Teledad mirrors like so much. That's one of my favorite formats to play. Well, mirrors in at least, and I'm like, no, Crush Card. Like, just get out of
Our
here.
gentleman, Teledad mirror card is actually Roll Oppression.
Oh, okay. See, I'm down with that. Yeah, because I mean, it just ends right there, so that makes sense.
I did flip turn 1 Crush against Kattegat one time, and I think I hit like Zombie Master double Mizuki, and he just killed me.
Oh my god. Fuck.
I was like, all right, well, this game's over.
Well, going back to what you were saying about how like you had like a bunch of stuff that you kept. It's funny because it's like you're retro in the sense of Yu-Gi-Oh, but you're also retro in the sense of everything else too, because you got all the boxes and the manuals and everything.
Dude, I still play video games on a CRT TV.
That's amazing. Well, that brings me to my next question though: is what made you want to make a YouTube channel?
So I did YouTube when Yu-Gi-Oh was modern. Not a lot of people know this. My channel was started in 2011. So,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so we were doing modern Yu-Gi-Oh when that was so. We decided to do modern Yu-Gi-Oh at that time at 2011 until like 2014. Like at 2014 Nats, I was just really burned out with playing. I was like, this is kind of different. And then Duelist Alliance dropped. I played in a regional, and I was just like, I'm playing King of Skull Servants. Like, sure, was it White Prince was the one that came out in Duelist Alliance. I was like, I don't really care. Like, I'm not trying to do well. It doesn't matter. Caddick actually got top 8 at that regional, but I like left early. I was like, dude, I just want to normal summon King and attack over Construct or whatever. Like, this is fine. But
well, that was another thing.
Yeah. Then we got back into retro Yu-Gi-Oh in 2017. I think we started with Abyss Rising format. So like redo, but we included Abyss Rising. So you have Undyne Mermail, which isn't actually that great of a deck. But you get Cowboy and Dweller, which we were like, okay, maybe this isn't great, and then we reverted back to redo, and it became like more fun. Now that format's popping, but we did that, and we did Tengu, and we did Hack. Those are the ones that we kind of like. Oh, we're like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We like collector store. It's a store in our area. They like shut the place down because one of the workers like retro Yu-Gi-Oh, and we had like a 25-man tournament, and people were just like I played like Machina Geargia, and I was like, this is awesome. Like this is great. So we were doing that, playing it competitively, like for money. And then once like Edison like rolled around, so I was at a regional in 2018, and I was playing Hat, just off to the side. And some guy was like, I was trading in between turns with some guy, because he had a French wind-up shark, and my roommate was trying to get a bunch of foreign wind-ups. So I was like, this is perfect. And he saw we were playing Hat. He's like, you ever play Edison? I was like, I don't think I ever tried it. And I looked up the deck list for it. I was like, I just Googled like SJC Edison top 32, and I was like, all these decks suck. This is gonna be awesome.
Bro, that brings me like to another question regarding that. Is like, when did you decide like retro formats were for you, and that like they were something you wanted to make the focus of your content? Like coming up with the name like Who Needs Meta? Like what was the fall from grace with modern formats that made you just never go back? Was it just seeing that retro was just like, that's what I want to do. This is fun, and I don't have to worry nearly as much about the price point, and I could just play it with all my friends, and Yu-Gi-Oh just never gets tiring that way.
It was Duelist Alliance was the set that was like, this is the power creep where I'm like, it doesn't feel like the same game. Like Window with the one special summon, and like everything kind of protected itself or floated, and it was like destruction effects, and like you can't really play the game. It didn't feel the same. So I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. But I kept my cards for the most part. I did sell a lot of like the high dollar stuff. And then we went to Force of Will. So my competitive journey is really
Force
funny
of Will
because
at that time was sick. Oh,
like the TCG.
The first 3 sets of Force of Will were freaking awesome. So St. Louis was the first ARG event for Force of Will. Like the first major tournament in North America was in St. Louis, and I was like, this is like we almost outdrew the Yu-Gi-Oh event because there was a couple of shops here
Oh
that were
my
pushing the game.
god.
They were pushing the
What?
game,
That
and
was
yeah,
in a dual format, right?
yeah, it was. It was the set. I played Scheherazade, green red Scheherazade that sided into split heaven and earth, so that you would side out because you could side stones, so you could side mana. Your mana was in its own deck, which is really cool because I never liked mana magic because of mana screw and like I played it and I was like, this combat step does not make sense. Why doesn't everything have target attack? Like, let me just attack what I want to attack. So magic never made sense to me, but Force of Will did, and you didn't have to work because your mana was in its own deck. And there was a card that was like search any card. Force of Will still has what I consider the most broken card in any game, and Reflect Refrain. Like just reading that card is like, oh, this is like Brawl Meta Knight broken.
Yeah, broken is what made me stop playing Force of
I'm
Will.
going to
Ruler
consistently
activate.
I'm going to consistently use Brawl Meta Knight Broken as a term now.
Yeah, it was Brawl Meta Knight broken. So I played from '02 to like 2006, 2007 ish, and then I got an Xbox 360 in this little game. It's called Halo 3. And I played.
Oh,
So that was scratching my competitive itch. I played. It was the only esport I ever cared about. I was terrible. I was awful. Don't get construed that I was like, oh, you were like pretty good. It's like, no, complete dog shit. But I liked that game. I was like, I memorized all the spawn timer or
yes.
the spawns, and I still have my like Team Instinct shirt because like Roy Box and like I was like, okay. And then Halo Reach came out, and I was like, this game sucks. This game
Halo 2. Halo 2 is my favorite game of all time. I did love Halo 3, like the aspect of, waiting at GameStop until it opened, like in a sleeping bag with my friends, and then going back home and beating it in one day, like being jacked up on Mountain Dew and
Not
just,
Jack.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
so much
winging
game
it.
fuel, so much
So
like
much.
so
So
much of
much.
the World of Warcraft game fuel and like playing Halo 3 for like hours and hours and hours. The only sport I ever liked. And then Reach came out and I was like, this game is not a competitively viable game. It's just not built that way. Like Major League Gaming like pretty much died around that time. And it's so like we're talking 2011. I guess the friends were like, hey, we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You want to like come back and play Yu-Gi-Oh? And I was like, no, I did like that game like 5 years ago. That sounds like a lot of fun. So right around Hidden Arsenal 4-ish is when I got back into the game, and I played through Hat, and then I played off and on. Like I played Klee when Scout was at 2, and I was like, okay, it's fine because the deck wasn't broken. I played Nekroz a little bit when Brio was at 2 because I didn't have to worry about like I'm not playing it being forced to play Gold Blader because I'm worried about getting gym lock. Like that's not enjoyable. And
Yeah.
then I randomly went to a regional in Kansas City in 2018. I played Trickstar Sky Striker. I don't know what any of those cards do anymore. I couldn't tell you anything. It was the regional where Thunder Dragons just came out, like became big. And I went undefeated, but with 3 draws because I had to read all of my opponent's cards, and the time rules are trash.
Oh, hold on. My mind is like spiraling right now. You said Kansas City in 2018.
Yes, it was.
Do you know what time of year it was?
It was so yeah. Whenever Thunder Dragon like became like a deck, and they got Colossus and.
Okay, so was it like September or like October?
Yeah, right around October because I just started
Okay,
working at the
all
shop. Were you
right.
there?
Was it a collector's cash?
It was at Collector's Cash. Yeah.
That was my first regional I ever went to.
Oh
Seriously?
my gosh.
That's
Yes.
hilarious.
Oh my god, that is.
I bought an
told
Ulti First
Austin.
Plague at that. I bought it at the event. I bought an Ulti First Plague and a Ghost First German Honest for a
Dude,
combined total of $80 off of it.
I told Austin about that. I was like, "Yo, you live in Missouri? That's awesome. The only place I've ever really been because I lived there in Warrensburg for 2 months, and my first regional I ever went to was at Collector's Cash, and I was like, why does this name sound so familiar? And I went back to my email history and looked because I've had my email for like ever. So I went back and looked, and I ordered like Japanese like Arcana Dark Magician from Collector's Cash in like 2008 or some shit, and I was like, What? The coming of worlds right now is just insane. But that's actually I topped that regional and didn't even know because like I didn't know what the fuck topping was because it was the first one I had ever been to. I was playing Invoked Mech Knight Sky Striker and I got like it was like top. I can't remember what the
Top 24.
split was. Yeah, yeah. But um, I had no clue that I did, and I was like, "Oh my god, I just beat like a bunch of fucking Goki players and their stupid firewall loops and crap."
Yeah, that was not a healthy time to like try and re-enter the game.
No, definitely not.
Invoke Mech Knight Sky Striker sounds like a hellacious mythical creature.
It was amazing. I loved it so much. My opponents were just like, "What Hornet drones? Your plate? What?" It was great because that was really like before Sky Striker Invoked kind of like took off and like as a deck really or started seeing success. I was using my friend's deck. It wasn't mine because like I when I got back into the game, a lot of people don't like hearing this, but Link Monsters like kind of saved the game for me because Pendulums ruined them, and I liked Links because it reminded me of Synchros, the adding and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna give this a try. I love Aleister Crowley. If if you ask me what my favorite Ozzy Osbourne song is, it's between that and Bark at the Moon. And I loved that concept. And I remember like seeing like Mecha come out when it did, and it was just terrifying. It was like Omni Negate level 9, and you can make 2 of them. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I was sad I couldn't play back then at the time because I was just stuck on Dueling Network at the time because I just couldn't afford it. And years passed, and I saw they got a late monster for Invoked, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. And that was the first regional that I ever went to. That's just fucking crazy that you were also there. That's wild.
Yeah, that was the only regional I played in between 2014 and now. I go to the ones locally if they get like newer mats for like the side events because they'll fire at us at side events. So I was like, oh, I don't have the hamster mat yet. I'll go and I'll play it. So
Yeah.
I have like 2 lad mats and I have one of the hamster mats just because I wanted to go do the side events and stuff like that. Just win those because I think that I don't even like rubber mats. I just think like having them. Like the only regional I ever try harded in where I was like, I'm gonna play a real deck. Like I've taken like GG Psychics to regionals. I took Chaos Plants once when like Trishula's and Brio were banned. Like they just unbanned like it was the Fire Fist regional, and I was like, I'm taking plants. I don't even care. But the only one that I ever try harded was they released the Star Eater map.
Okay.
And I saw it. I was like, I have to win that one. Yeah, we're gonna try. And so it was Dragon Rulers pre Sixth Sense. So it was like at the start of the format, and I played Water, and I got 4th because I was like, I think this mat is sick. I'm gonna play a deck that actually like is real. And I like Water.
That's so
Water's
sick.
one of my favorite decks of all time. And I still have that mat in it too, right above me. I still have my Nats map for 2014. That everyone was selling for like $25 because it's like a Guardian. So I was like, it's not worth it. The
Bro,
owning them is worth more than like
Scythe,
$25.
Dread Scythe is fire. Like
Yeah.
I feel that.
And my last modern tournament was actually it was a case tournament in St. Louis where Fist Rising was the new set. I got first place. I went EXO the whole event all the way to the finals with Macro Rabbit when everyone was playing. Most people were playing Water. Then there's a bunch of random things that you play in Swiss, but top 8, top 4 in the finals was Water, 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 and EXO'd the whole thing and won a case. And I got a bunch of water stuff in the building. So then I quit like maybe 4 months after that.
So what shop was that?
It was at Yeti.
Yeti. So that they moved. They're actually 1 street light away from me now.
Oh really?
So we go there all the time. That era that you played in was, I don't think I've ever experienced like a locals that was as competitive at that time. Like we were pushing like 50, 60 people every single Saturday. It was absolutely wild. Just everybody was playing. Like Water was everybody played Water, and because it was the best deck. And like I don't understand, like I don't know, like why that died off. Maybe it's because there's more shops in the area now. But like just the competitive scene here during like 2012 to like 2014. I mean, we had like 5-6 players with YCS tops coming to locals every week, and I was like, this is crazy. So I got to learn the game from like people who are like way better than me at that time.
Yeah, every time we went to St. Louis, so we'd go to KC a lot for regionals, and I'd always go X2. Never went X3, never went X1. Always went X2 at KC. In St. Louis, I've gotten 9th twice, which is really frustrating, but my favorite one I did, I was actually playing Frog FT Day, and no one had even heard about it yet. It was like when it first kind of was found out. And I get a round one loss because we show up and we're 15 minutes late. So I get a round one loss. I go undefeated to the last round of Swiss. I'm playing against a guy just playing stun, and I have the full combo in my hand. I just don't have a way to get 2 months on the field. So I go set Treeborn, I have Heavy, I have Match Driver, I have Trinade, I have Substitute, I have everything that I need. I go, set Treeborn pass. He goes normal summon King Tiger Wank, and I lost that game.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah, that's the deck that won
Tiger Wanker.
the last YCS, or I guess it was the first ever YCS. I think was that, I don't know if it won or topped or whatever. There's like that weird stun deck that played like King Tigers and Thunder Kings and Dynas and Banishers. And I was like, this looks super fun. But then again, that's the dumb stuff that I like. So I like dumb decks like that.
That's kind of how I felt. So I lose game one. I win game two because I go first. Game three, I actually dropped an Obelisk on him. So I decided to like a quick draw frog bad thing, but I also played Obelisk because you do it. And I Obelisk him, but he ended up still outing it somehow, and I lose. But afterwards, the guy pulls out his like little camera, and he's like, "We gotta do a deck profile because I've never seen someone, summon Obelisk on the bubble of a regional." I was like, "Yeah, tried, but I didn't."
I mean, yeah, that certainly seems like a feat. I would do that and be like, yo, what's going on? We need to talk. Like, where was your head when you did that? Like, I totally feel that. You were mentioning Abyss Rising.
Powerful amount of,
You were mentioning Abyss Rising, and it's actually so funny that like the day the sneak peek happened for Abyss Rising was actually the day that I quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Until I came back at the end of 2018. I pulled a Megalo at the sneak peek, and this dude bought that and my whole collection for like $800 just because like I wanted to play Mermail, but there was no way that I was going to be able to afford all of that at the time. Because I mean, like I was, God, it's 2025 right now, and I turn 29 in July. So I was what, 14, 15? Like I was pretty young, so it was like I definitely couldn't. I didn't have the income to afford that at the time. But I would just
over 100 piece.
yeah, no, like when I pulled it, I was like, okay, cool, this is a selling point. I can do what I've been wanting to do, which is just focus on Dueling Network. Because like I was so addicted to that shit when it came out. I was like, oh my god, a way to play like online simulator Yu-Gi-Oh! That isn't like the worst thing ever. Like, because I remember like back when they first started like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulators, where you had to upload each like separate image on like Windows and stuff, and like I just was not for that. So when Dueling Network came out,
the Kaiba Corp duel simulator ever?
Yes.
Hamachi?
Yeah.
Yo, Hamachi. Hamachi was the only other time I ever used that was Xbox Connect, which is how you played original Xbox games online. And it was just that and Kaiba Corp duel simulator.
It was hard to find people who actually had that, and like
I played.
I think I got like one game.
I played on that one time before. The story's so funny. So like this is like during like the days of like Pojo as well, and like this like dude from like the UK decided like I had put up a Ubel deck that I was trying to like put together. He was just like, this deck sucks. And I was like we can play on Kaiba Corp, the Kaiba Corp duel simulator, and I'll show you what for.
that's great. I love that.
The only deck that I ever put on there was Jurax. So I was like, all right, we're getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Dinosaurs are cool. We're doing this.
Dinos are sick, man.
Yeah.
That's why I like Macro Rabbit so much. I'm like, I played a rabbit, I played a dinosaur, and then you got to just make floodgates and they get mad. And it was everything I looked for in a deck.
Well, that
I
actually
like that deck. That deck's super fun. I know people shit talk it, but I think it's fun.
Also, David, considering all that, like, what would you say your favorite format of all time is?
Tengu play. I love that format so much. I think Tengu's a cool card. Tour Guide's a cool card. Librarian's my favorite synchro monster of all time. I just think because that card says draw cards.
Librarian.
Dude, I love Librarian. That's my grail that I realize that I will never, ever, ever own is the European prize card Librarian. There was one at Indy when I went, I think the first time at YCS Indianapolis, and they had it in the case for $9,000, and I was like,
I think I'm good on that. I remember going up to Gamer's Choice and they had a $7,500 gold Sark, and I was like, I'm just going to take a picture. Can I see this? I'm just going to take a picture of this just so I can say I've held one of these.
It was the first time I've ever seen one in person. I actually had a friend of mine who's probably has. I don't know if he's probably sold a lot of it, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hong Lee. He's local to our area. He's also a Dino Rabbit player from back in the day. He got top 32. I can't remember what YCS with Dino Rabbit. But he probably had the best Yu-Gi-Oh TCG at least collection in the entire world. He had every Pharaoh's Tour like promo, every SJC promo. He had a playset of every tournament pack, turbo pack, champion pack, astro pack, hollow. He had a playset of all of them. He had the champion pack 6 misprints. Like he had multiples of them.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was. He had a bunch of the original trophies from Shonen Jumps, including like the sealed prize cards. He had he had an Ultra and a Super Minerva, I believe, at one point in time. I remember in his binder, I saw that he had an Ultra Giant hand. I was like, "What'd you pay for that?" He's like, $1,700. It's like, all right, cool, man. That's super cool.
Did he have a Stardust Divinity?
I don't remember. I think he had a Pit Boss, if I remember correctly.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're talking like one of the greatest like TCG collections in the entire world. It was very, very impressive. But he calls me one day and he goes, "Hey, this is I'm working like part-time at Target while going to college." And he's like, "Hey, I know you want that librarian." This is like 2013. He's like, "There's one on eBay. $354." I was like, "I don't think I can swing it, man. I'm sorry."
Oh my god.
And then like sure enough, 10 years later, one sells for I think 14,000. I was like, "Oh, you missed the boat on that one, Chief."
That's painful.
But yeah, that's like the dream card. But yeah, my favorite format for sure is Tengu. I think Global is sick. I love that card. I think Master Hyperion rules. Christian rules.
I love Hyperion. I love Agents. That's the only thing I'll play in Tengu 90% of the
It's like
time.
one of
I
my
love
favorite decks
Agents.
of all time. People say that deck's brain dead, and then when you get into like high level play where you're normal summoning Shine Ball to like bluff Honest so you can make Gotchi with your other Shine Ball.
Yes. I love that. The mind games really come into play.
Yeah,
But
then when you're
also,
like, yeah.
what is your opinion of Edison format in comparison to those around it, like Tengu though? Like we had MBT on and he was talking about how like Edison seems to be like a central meeting point for everybody because the format before it and the format after it, or the formats quote unquote after it, they don't tend to have too different of gameplay rather than just difference in card pool.
Yeah, so I think the draw of Edison for me is that every card is bad. I like that. I remember watching a Patrick Owen interview, and he was like, "I love when all these cards are broken." I was like, "I love it when they all suck." Like my favorite time playing the game is right after the new ban list drops, and the best deck is neutered, and the stuff that's broken hasn't come out yet. So you just get all of these fucking piles that show up to like regionals and locals. Like that's always super fun. Like YCS Toronto, like the top 32 when everyone thought Windups was dead in 2012, I was like that rocks. That's so much fun. So redo format is a top 5 for me. Edison is a top 5 for me. I think Perfect Circle is mad underrated.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Perfect Circle is 100% underrated. It's probably my second favorite mirror behind the Tengu Plant Mirror. The Tengu Plant Mirror, that's the only deck that I own twice. I own like 6 tour guides and 6 Tengus and like 2 debris dragons, like a full set of the plants and stuff, and I have that whole deck. I have that whole deck twice over. It's not like I have like 6 Secret First Maxis because like I just don't want to like get rid of them.
Dude, speaking of multiples, though, I remember when I first started watching your videos, and I was fully convinced that you had a separate German torrential tribute for every single deck.
No, I just have the 2. So I got one off of a friend. He's like, dude, I just traded for this LON first German torrential, and then he needed something from me. And we didn't trade. We joke. We called it a match of matches, where we played a best of 3 of matches of GOAT, and I won it off him. So that's how I got the first one, and the second one I found for like $10 on like those Facebook auction groups or whatever. And he's like, just a heads up, it's like probably leans towards my play. I was like, dude, this card's pushing 20 years old. Who gives a shit? Like I'm gonna use
Facts. I'm gonna use it and make it even more mod. I'm gonna make this shit heavy play.
Yeah. So like I have 2 of those LON first German torrentials for just different decks because like we play again. It's at 2 in 2012, so you get to play 2 of it. So you gotta have 2 of them.
Well, when it came to
I don't typically overbuy on anything. That's the only thing that I own like more than the legal number of copies of is the Tengu Mirror, just because I love
yeah.
it.
Well, I remember when I first saw your stuff on Facebook. So that's the funny thing. I discovered your YouTube channel before I even knew who you were on Facebook. So I was watching your videos and stuff. And then when I'd see you post on Facebook, I'd be like, those cards look familiar. Hold on. I need to. Because I remember the first message that I sent you. I believe it was about like a ruling or something. And the second one I sent you.
You're not the only person who asked me random ruling questions on Facebook. So,
but you know that you just happen to know them. So I was like, hey, does this work this way? You're like, no, not at all. I was like, cool, awesome. I totally got cheated. But then the second one, I actually was talking with Boyd about this today because we were talking about questions to ask on this. And he was like, one of my favorite questions to ask people is take a card from Yu-Gi-Oh and insert it into Edison or insert it into a certain format and see how it does. And I remember one of the first questions I ever asked you was, hey, what do you think would happen if we put Diviner of the Herald in Edison format? And you're like, I don't really know that card.
I still don't know that card.
Let me read it to you really quick, just so you can.
A lot of people ask like, what's a card you would want to bring into Edison? And I'm just like, just give me a second MST. That's all. That's
I feel, yeah.
I want a second copy of MST.
I feel that. So Diviner the Herald is a light level 2 fairy tuner with 500 attack and 300 defense. And it says, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. And if you do, increase this card's level by that monster's level until the end of this turn. If this card is tributed, you could special summon one level 2 or lower fairy monster from your hand or deck except for Diviner of the Herald. You can only use each effect of Diviner of the Herald once per turn.
My honest answer is probably nothing. Is that the answer, Alex? I don't know if that card will do anything.
But that's putting it's very recipe. I don't know.
I don't know. I read it and I was like, this is interesting. If it gets tributed, it summons out Herald from the main deck, and then it can send one for Christia, and then it's also a tuner on field. I don't know. It was just something that popped into my head, and I like randomly messaged you about it, and I was like, huh. I wonder what he has to say since he's like super into retro Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's a shame now because it doesn't, and nothing matters if it loses to deck dev now. So like fairies are dead.
That's no, it's really unfortunate to say that, but definitely true.
I got one here for you because I just found out what this card was literally like 2 days ago. I was like, this would be so cool, and that's it's called Ledger of the Ledger.
Ledger of the Ledgerman? That's in my cube. I don't know what it does because I didn't put it in the cube, but it's in my cube. I have to read it every time it comes up.
The card is hilarious.
You banish 3 cards from the top of your deck face down. During your third standby phase, okay, never mind. I thought it was a gold sark, but you search 3, but it's not. You banish those 3 random cards from your deck to get those 3 cards later. I thought it was like you pick 3 cards like gold sark, and then you get it in 3 turns. Reading is hard.
Reading is hard.
Players don't know how to read, so it's your
that's the best joke ever, though. We can run with it forever and just blame it on everything. Why'd you do that, dude? Oh, I didn't read my card.
Yeah, I thought it was you get to pick 3. No, it's just banish 3 random from the top. Okay, never mind, that's not.
We had a locals back in the day that sold sleeves that just said RTFC on them.
Yes, dude. I've seen those. Yes, I've seen those. That was the first time I ever saw that phrase. Read the fucking card. I was like, what did RTFC mean? It's so good. I love that. It was like, I don't even know what year it was. It was when I first started going to regionals. I believe it was like 2019 or so when I saw it. But I have a trivia question for you, since you like to do all this, ban list stuff with Cadigan and stuff.
So we want to do different topics, and I'm so sad because I had another one, and I wrote out all the questions, and I was really excited, and then my phone broke, and they're gone.
Well,
I have to rewrite all of them, but we're going to do more of that, I hope.
No, I really enjoy that content. It is actually really, really cool. I think you're going to know the answer to this one like immediately, but I'm only asking it just because the answer is one of my favorite cards of all time. But what was the first card ever banned before its debut in America?
I thought it was 6 cents. Is it not 6 cents? Because that card was banned. That card was banned before it was ever printed here.
Do you know it, Austin?
I think so.
is not Temple of the King. Everyone says that, but no, it's not Temple of the Kings. Nothing. No, Ty. Nothing.
No.
I was thinking it was Sixth Sense myself. I'm stumped.
It was Makira the Destructor.
Oh yeah, Makiura.
Oh, because it didn't have like it had a super in something.
In Dark Beginning 1.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a super
That's right.
rare though?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
super
it was
rare.
a super. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a super. They dropped it, and people were like, "Oh, I can't wait to wait." What? It's what do you mean? I can't. What do you mean?
I bought so much DB1 as a kid because I loved Exodia, and they were commons. I believe it was either DB1 or DB2, but I'm like 90% certain it was DB1. I bought whatever one that was in. I bought so much of that set because I just wanted the Exodia pieces. So I used to like. My grandfather bestowed upon me a cool trick of putting the VHS in the VCR and hitting record when your favorite show comes on, hitting pause when the commercial comes on, and then when the show comes back, you unpause. And I had the episode of Yugi versus the Rare Hunter taped.
Yes.
Exodia. And I must have watched that shit into the absolute ground when I was like 11. Like
That
11,
was
12
great.
years old. I watched, so I was like, Exodia rules. So like anytime like video game stuff or anything, I was like, dude, I just want to build Exodia. Like I had proxies of all of it. So
you're almost like rooting for the Rare Hunter to win.
Oh, 100%. Because once we started playing Critter, I was like, I can play Exodia because I have 2 Sangan, 2 Witch, and 3 Last Wills. We're doing this. So yeah, I was really excited. Yeah, Critter is also an underplayed format. The card pool is so incredibly tiny, but because of it, there's like dumb interactions, like people freaking switching from switching to Giant Soldier of Stone away from Wall of Illusion because people are flipping Moth, ramming it into wall, and then resetting Moth after adding like Raigeki or Body Greed or something. It's like this is good. This is peak. This is what we came for.
This is peak Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm ready for this.
Setting Giant Soldier of Stone is absolutely peak Yu-Gi-Oh!
Has anybody ever watched the Cross Bandlist Cup from Lithium 2300's channel and just watch that Exodia deck from '99 just go off?
Oh, with Sangan and Witch doing their original effects.
Yeah, with Last Will, the shit's crazy.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
I'm watching. I remember watching because I was getting so intrigued because it was like every time I was watching this video, like watching these videos with Exodia from '99, like it's like taking out decks from like 2017, 2020, 2022. It's just like step up to the plate, line them up.
Yeah, no, that's just wild to me. David, did you ever like go back and like see like what they originally did, Sangan and Witch?
I know that they're like uber broken, but I've never seen any of the OCG stuff. The only time I've ever like looked into OCG is when we've had like ruling contradiction. I was like, I have to know.
Okay, so Sangan and Witch, originally when they came out, they searched anytime they went to the graveyard.
Yeah, you could ditch them all graceful and get the
yeah, they would just you'd Exodia your opponent in one turn. It was like within like 60 seconds. It was ridiculous.
Painful choice, go burr.
Yeah,
painful choice to indeed go burr. 100,000%. It's actually terrifying.
Never been printed, but here we are.
Yeah. This is a really silly one. I'm sure you saw this in the chat. And Austin's gonna chirp up and like just scream this at the top of his lungs. Is the Midwest the best?
Yeah, we have good players. I know that like you go to like you look at regional numbers in California and they're pushing like 1,000 players, or at least when I was playing. It's like, crap. Yeah, we don't have that. We're like 350, I think. But I think that like the quality of player here is very high. I mean, like when I can go to a locals and there's like multiple YCS tops in there, and at least at Yeti, the owner Vince, like whenever somebody would do well at like any event, regardless, he'd like let me buy the trophy. Like you're a Yeti player. I want everyone to know that a Yeti player won this. Let me buy the trophy.
Dude, that is awesome and awesome.
Yeah, so what he would do is he would buy the trophy off of people, and I believe you got to play in all your locals free for like a year.
That's wild. That's that's straight up like doing it for the community. I love that.
You're a good player. We're gonna let you play for free because you're a good player, and we're gonna keep making you a good player. And that's That Yeti is wholeheartedly a Pokemon shop. All of his kids play Pokemon. I believe he was like the world's head judge for a while for Pokemon. Like, he has the greatest Pokemon case that I've ever seen in like their vault or whatever. It's crazy impressive. But um, they did good things for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. They still do good things for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Vince is a really good guy. Does a lot of charity stuff. Does charity tournaments. We've been working on one together for a few years to hopefully do. And when we originally brought up the idea, Edison, like Retro Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't like officially sanctioned. It was just our group of 20-ish people goofing off. Um, and so now that Edison and Retro Yu-Gi-Oh in general is popular, we might actually be able to do a retro event for charity. And I donated, this is years ago, but I donated one of my giant hands to be the first place prize. I bought it off of TCG Player when they were doing their like 15. Now all TCG Player sucks because they don't. Oh, if you want like the store credit kickback or whatever, you gotta be a subscriber. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bought it on like one of those weekends where it was like 15% store credit, and I bought it for like $230, and I got it, and it was still in the YCS case. Like,
Oh my God, that's sick.
and I was like, we got to do something cool with this. So I gave it to them, and I was like, let's do something cool with this. So let's find a cool charity. Let's do something. And he's putting up the rest of the
Well, no,
prize.
that's actually so cool. I have a friend named Alex Joyce, and he has like a group of people that do like retro formats, and they do like a charity event for their friend who passed away every so now and again.
Is that the Perfect Circle tournament?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the. It was funny because one of the lists from I think the one either last year or 2 years ago was the one that I uploaded to YouTube card for the main deck. I was like, this is sick. He's got the one lad, one Zaborg, one Crow in the main. That's sick. I like that.
Yeah, no, I love the one crow, especially the ones aboard.
Now everybody's like playing like two Crow in the main. Like Crow's like popping off in the main now in that format. Like Pulling is like hardcore main deck card in the format now. So
yeah. I don't know. In that deck, one of my friends really turned me on to playing Spy in Perfect Circle. I don't know
Spy
why.
is cool.
Spy's really really cool. And I mean, the 2000 wall is just your Stratos is not getting past this, sir. I like it a lot. But
Yeah, I was maining 2 Crow and a Transmigration whenever I played Perfect Circle like 2 weeks ago.
Transmigration's sick. Found a cool old first German one for $12 on TCG a couple years ago. I was like,
this
I don't
man
know
be
this card.
loving this
Yeah,
man be
I don't
loving
know this
German
card yet. I need
cards.
it. Dude, I have a lot of. So I
It's that
played.
era.
Yeah, if you played from like 2012 to like 2015, like foreign cards were like worth more. Like that was like the thing.
Yep.
And so like people just want. So I got like a bunch of foreign stuff. The one thing I always coveted was the Turbo Pack German gadgets. I was like I had like like not a eBay save search, but I was constantly eBay like, all right, let's type in like Turbo Green Gadget foreign or whatever. I was like, if I could get a set, and then I had some subscriber. He's from Austria. He's like, yeah, I have these. You can just have them. He sent me all 9 of them and a full like Machina set, all German. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like today, I got people know I love Steelix. It's my favorite Pokemon. Like anytime I find like a cool Steelix, I had a subscriber message me on Discord. It was like a Mega Steelix. Like, do you have this one yet? And I was like, no, that looks awesome. I've never seen that one. He was like, it's on its way. Like I just have like
Oh, that's
like
so sick. I love that.
like the coolest. And then like I was kind of down bad financially for a little bit. And I sold like a couple cards, nothing crazy, but it's like those things that were like, I do have things that were gifted to me by subs. Um, like those are never going anywhere. Like those gadgets, um, they'll be in that binder probably till I die. Because this like somebody thought was like, hey, I have this thing, I don't need it. It's something that you are looking for. Please take them. They will get more use. And it's like, so I started when I get cards now that I don't need, I give them to my friends because people have kind of passed that on to me. So I definitely like super
That's
appreciate like the small community that I have around the channel. I actually had um, I've been playing X Sabers a lot recently in Edison because I saw the person with the spy list at Vegas. I was like, I never thought of this. I'm gonna try this, and then I've made a couple tweaks and like was talking to the deck about a friend. But the only reason I'm able to actually play the deck, I'm gonna shout out their TCG account. Dark Arm Games on TCG.
Oh, dude, yes, yeah, I know exactly
yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sent me. He's like, hey, I have like I think 5 of these ulti French Gothams, like the level 9. It's like, do you want one? I was like, actually, that's the only card I don't have to play the Edison version of the deck because it plays 2. I got the original version off of Cadigan. I traded him a bunch of stuff and I bought him a few things. He got me my last job. He helped me get my foot in the door there. And so I remember like way back in the day, I bought him an ulti first German Dark Soul. I think I got 1 or 2 of them. And then I finished the playset for him, and then I bought him a couple other of the foreign X Sabers. He has 2 decks maxed out at all. Like he's like the low rarity guy. I'm the high rarity guy. He has 2 decks maxed out. One of which is X Sabers because he has the whole thing foreign, and then he has Shadal's maxed out. A lot of that German. But yeah, so
Okay, I do love me some German shit. Also, those are actually really
because the
sick.
name is Shattenpoop. It's awesome.
It's so funny. No. Ty's like, oh my god, I didn't know.
I didn't know at all.
I love them.
No, I love like if you just like Google the German name of compulsory evacuation device, I was like, I have to have this.
Wild. Oh
Yeah, it's like
Dude.
it's like 25 characters and it's all one word.
I love it so much. Well, I love that's why I love German cards in general. They were the first like foreign I went towards. I didn't like Italian or French or Portuguese. I wanted German because everything was always one word or just sounded so funny or whimsical. I was like, how can I not have this?
I know everybody wants like the big one is the Spanish Archlord Christia. That's
Senor Supremo.
Senor Supremo. Yeah, that's the good one. And like the Colossal Fighter being like Luchador is pretty cool.
I recently had the Spanish one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I do have a playset, a German playset of Cleveland Scout because it's Kundschafter. Like that's awesome.
I love that so. No, so what were you were saying about like how you kind of took that upon yourself and kind of like passed that kindness down. Like that is like truly wholesome, and I love like hearing that in the community sense. Like I wish that would just be passed around to everybody because I love that mentality of just like you need this more than I do. You're a friend. I'm going to pass this down to you, and it kind of just stay in the circle. Like I love stuff like that. It's really really cool.
I recently started playing. Recently started playing Pokemon. With Yu-Gi-Oh, I was like, I want something that is going to change. So, like with Edison, I've been playing it, but not nearly as much. Cadigan's crazy busy recently with a lot of stuff. Like even tonight, he couldn't unfortunately make the call. Something came up. He's like he's been crazy busy. I've been doing like music stuff. I've been playing hockey and whatnot, and wanting to do more of that and take care of my body and take care of myself, eat right, all that good stuff.
Who's your team for hockey?
I'm from St. Louis Blues fan. They're on a heater. They're playing right now. I put my little notebook away. Let's see. I checked the score. They still they're winning. Look at that. See, 10 games.
I recently in the past year just like got really into. I've never been a sports person, but I go into a hockey game on a whim, had a really really good time, and I've been hooked ever since. And now I love the Hurricanes.
Live hockey is so much fun. Oh, the Hurricanes, dude.
Yes, you already knew Hurricanes, bro.
Dude, Seth Jarvis looks like he freaking he just looks like he failed like 4th grade like 3 times. Living his best life.
It's so good. I love it. It's so good. You mentioned music, and that's one thing I've been wanting to talk about, just because it's something that me and you connect on. Do you recently started this band, or I don't know if you started it, but you joined this band?
I did start it.
You did start it. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
The Absolute Power Force, which all of us here know is Pip and Yu-Gi-Oh, a fiendish chain. Cool, awesome. You gonna bring tables for people to play Edison format at your shows? Is that a thing?
If you beat me at Edison, we'll give you a discount on merch.
There you go.
Okay, I like that. That's good. But
mosh pit to the left, pairing to the right.
Yeah.
But no, I love that so much because like it brings me to this pinnacle that I've just kind of learned over time. Like just like Austin was saying, like I didn't really even know that Austin listened to metal before today. So the fact that he was talking about Miss May I and this, that, and the other, I was like, it really proves my point that Yu-Gi-Oh players more often than not are metal fans, which I've really really noticed. Like I guess throughout like my time like going to events and stuff, which I think is just really really cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a metal fan. I would say I'm a hardcore fan, punk fan. Just
Yeah,
play fast.
I'd align myself more with that. Yeah.
Yeah, just play fast, be loud, be angry. I listened to RKL today a little bit. We are not by far the first Yu-Gi-Oh related
Oh,
band like
we got Solemn Judgment.
I was gonna say Solemn Judgment.
Yeah.
It's your move, motherfucker. Yeah, that rules.
I love it so much. It's so good.
When I heard that, I was like, no. I was like, they're doing the EP thing. They're saying the thing of the song title. Yeah. I don't know. So you might like them. They're like a little bit more on the metal side, but there's literally a band called Jinzo.
There is a no. So there's actually two. So there was a Jinzo from Charlotte, North Carolina, that spelled their name with a Y instead, and they were more of like a progressive metalcore. And then now there's a Jinzo from Florida. They're more of like a metalcore-ish, like almost deathcore.
Yeah, they're like they remind me a little bit of like Kubla Khan.
Yes, yeah, just a tad. They got like that aspect of being raw and stuff. I mainly said metal just because like it falls into the vein, and like once
heavy music, yeah.
Yeah, that was mainly why. But my favorite one, my friend Dalton actually turned me on to them. They're called Soul Exchange, and they're from freaking I was like, dude, that's so freaking sick. I know there's no way in hell that is not from Yu-Gi-Oh. You can't sit there and tell me that that's not the spell card Soul Exchange.
Yeah, it was between Absolute Power Force and Invasion of Chaos for like the band name. So I just had like because I originally wanted to name because the other band that I'm in, it's called Portraits and Landscapes. But it's like spacey, emo-ish, like post-hardcore. It's got
I guarantee there's a house on the artwork. I guarantee it.
So the first EP is we did an Evangelion / Jolie Bindo reference.
Oh, that's so sick.
So it's the album folds out, and so it's like one picture, and it's day and night, but it's the same picture, and it's divided in half. But the name of that EP is "Love Will Not Condemn You" with not in parentheses, because I'm a big a couple of us are big KOTOR fans, and so that's a line from Jolie Bindo, and then one of the other guys is a huge Evangelion fan, so he put the not in parentheses to like shout at them.
Yeah, that's actually really sick.
Yeah, so that's we're not shy about our references. I think we just recorded 2 songs called Dust and Echoes, which is the last line I believe from Halo 1.
Okay, that's sick.
The last line or like the last end of the second song, the stuff is like fading out, and like you can hear the critical shield and then the recharge from Halo 3 where you hear the shield recharge.
Oh my god, I love that.
And then in the first song there's like a 4 beat measure rest, and we filled it with the multiplayer countdown from Halo, so it's the do.
Well, so speaking of Halo references, so there's this band. I don't like them much now. I actually saw them on that tour with Miss May I back in October. But they have an album called Divination. They're called In Heart's Wake. They're like this Australian metalcore band, and their lead single off that album, before the breakdown hits, it goes "Killing Frenzy," and then it like drones out, and then the bass drop hits, and it's so fucking sick.
All those like weird, like just random like sound bites and stuff, like those are always like so fun. Like I'm not like that's like that breakdown guy, but like just hearing like what niche shit people want to throw into songs.
I know, and then that's why I like deathcore so much. If you're able to handle that, but like I
don't mind it like super heavy music. It's when like bands like Rings of Saturn, where it's like a dick showing competition, was like. Look how fast I can play.
Like, I can do more sweeps than you can. I promise.
Like none of these notes are discernible. I'm sorry. I don't care how good at guitar you are. Like I would actually prefer you to suck. Actually.
Well, so my friend Zadak, he used to be the bassist of this band that's actually doing well right now called Boundaries. He left them and he's been kind of just doing his own thing with graphic design, this, that, and the other. But he joined this band, he made this band recently called Damage Over Time, and it's literally a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh band. Like all of their songs are about Thousand Eyes Restrict. Like their first song on their EP, you hear Pegasus in the background being like, "The wonderful Thousand Eyes Restrict," and the fucking breakdown hits, and it's so sick.
Have you heard Trap Card the mixtape?
No, what?
So there is a rapper by the name of Token Black. He's very, very, very He's good. He's good. He's good. Like his real songs are like good. He has like he's actually on an EP with another guy, and the name of the EP is Delinquent Duo.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah. But he actually has like you remember like Lil B and his like cooking songs or whatever that were they were all like jokes like Ellen DeGeneres
Yes.
and like Bitch on Bill Clinton and stuff. Yeah, so he has songs that are like that, but they are all about Yu-Gi-Oh. Every single one of them. He's actually been in like some of the comment sections of like my videos because he like watches, and I was like, dude, like Trap Card is like cool. Like he has like a song called like M Cole 40, a song called like Pot of Avarice.
Oh my god, he has a song called M Cole 40.
He has a song called Cap G or whatever.
No.
Like when I heard the line call your bitch my skull servant, give it when I say so, I was like, yep.
I'm dead.
Yeah. This is the pinnacle of what music can be. I will never write anything this cool.
Oh, bro, he's gonna drop a new one and be like, Chaz it up. Oh my god.
Oh my.
That's...
Yeah, like there's a couple like tracks on there that like some of the like Yu-Gi-Oh references to being like double entendres to like gang references or like violent references or like sexual references are fucking awesome.
The only other band that I know that I haven't mentioned yet that has done that, there's a band from California. I guess they're a metalcore band, but like the EP that this is on is way more deathcore than anything else. But their first EP, they released a song called Obelisk the Tormentor. And I was like, okay, awesome. I'm there. I'm for it. I've actually posted it on like classic Yu-Gi-Oh fans a couple times just to see if anybody knew who they were. But on their follow-up EP, they released a song called Pot of Greed. And I was like, all right, we're with it. We're going. They keep dropping them. They keep giving us bangers.
Just if you like fully lean into like niche shit, like even like if it's stuff that I don't care about. Like I know so many like rant like stuff where they do like talk about things that are not about the thing that people are talking about. Like I'll go to like watch a video game retrospective about like Paper Mario and someone's making like 1995 like WWF references, and I'm like, I don't know any of this, but I'm glad you like it.
Ty, what is our time sitting at right now?
Right now we are at 1 hour and 27 seconds.
Alrighty, so we do have to wrap up soon. We usually keep these things about an hour long.
Yeah.
I guess my closing, before I let them decide if they want to ask anything else, is where do you think you're still going to be playing these retro formats in 10 years?
I will have the cards to do so. We'll say that. I will never, I'll never sell like my collection. Like a lot of the stuff that I bought in like 2018, 2019, and that has just like unbelievably exploded in value. Like when you could buy a playset of Multiverse Celestius for $15, you do it. And you can't do that anymore.
No, you definitely can't.
Yeah. So I don't ever see myself ever getting rid of my stuff, even like if I lull or come back. Like that's the part of the reason like I never got rid of any of my stuff. Like I still play my Nintendo 64 games because sometimes I was like, I just want to play Pokemon Stadium. Sometimes you just want to play Pokemon Stadium. You just don't get rid of anything. So I don't think I'll ever like move on from my stuff. I'll probably still be playing if my friends are still playing because like the community around it. Like, I mean, one of the guys I played with asked me to be in his wedding. So like, like that friendship and that bond is like, it's not going anywhere. Like
it transcends past Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it absolutely. Where we hang out and we don't
from Yu-Gi-Oh, so I get it.
Yeah, we hang out and we like don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. We'll like watch baseball or something. Like play catch
or hockey,
grill. Yeah, dude, I've took caddying and skates for like rollerblades for like exercise. So I was like, hey man, grab a stick, like you get a wood one for like $20. Let's go skate. And he had an absolute blast doing it. I was like, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, so I've gotten him out there. If I ever like get like super into something, I usually have to bully my friends into doing it, so I don't have to do it by myself. And so
that's valid. That's so valid.
Yeah, so I bullied a couple of friends into playing Pokemon because I tried Pokemon in like 2019. I was like, this game is really fun, but in between rounds, I'm like standing there like twiddling my thumbs, like, who are all these people? So this time I was like, we're doing it, and other people are gonna do it with you.
Insert Patrick meme. Who are you people?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. So I was like, I guess I could talk to the guy behind the counter because I've been going to Yeti since I was 19 and I'm 32 years old.
Ty, Austin, do you have any closing questions you wanted to ask?
Austin,
I have I guess a couple.
Okay.
The first one I wanted to point out, I sent a picture in our little group chat. If you want to take a look at that.
Yeah, no. So I looked at this. So yeah, it was like Temple of the Kings was, but Makira was first. Is what I was saying.
Well, you said the only. So I was like, Temple of the King was also banned.
Did I say the only?
You did.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Oh.
Great.
Sheesh.
But no, for you, David. No, I've watched your content for a while. I always love watching your deck profiles and some of the like the duels you guys have on the channel. It's super cool. Always super high rare to get a look at stuff, good quality things. You'll have to come down to Springfield sometime and play one of our retro events, or have to like collaborate to come up in St. Louis and see what you guys are doing up there and try to make a video or something, about it.
All the tournaments at my house are always open to the public. We rotate formats. We're in Tengu right now. I think the last one we did was Providence 2011. We did that for a little bit. That was fun. We usually do 3 events and then move on. So that's if you see like me playing random people in like what's clearly a house. That's our house tournaments. I've
in the mall here at Springfield. It's called Collect Maniacs. It's a big old store. We do usually 2 to 3 a month, and we always do Go Edison. And then we have like a season, quote unquote. Right now, our season is like it's an additional third side. We're doing a Perfect Circle right now, so I have combined stop. Check one of those out sometime.
that format absolutely rules. We did 1 Perfect Circle because a lot of people were like, I don't know cards for that, and so we just did 1 rather than the 3. And Cadigan just ran the table with them eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, demise.
It was
I have a side
disgusting.
deck for it. Because it's there and it's scary. So
I don't know if it's not circle for me, then it's zombies in that format. I really do love zombies in that format, but
that's another
Like
good one.
Illblood, and you don't need a card. You don't need a target in graveyard for zombie match.
it's
You just
so
take that
good,
card and safe return and just slam turtle, turn 1, draw a card.
bro. Illblood is just insane, man. It's just so good.
Hey, I side deck Widespread Ruin for the Illblood because you never are supposed to attack with the Illblood. It's the rule.
Yeah, just the control aspect.
Right. Side hammer shot is it's usually the biggest.
Did side deck Hammer Shot. I do remember side decking Hammer Shot. Oh man. Wow, we're getting throwback.
So Ty, what about you? Anything?
I just got one quick question. So like with like the the 2 newest decks in Edison being Gigabytes and Forgs, like how do you feel about what's your opinion on like combo decks in Edison? Do you feel like they are a detriment, or do you feel like they help the game stay like fresh and like vibrant for people to like still continue to play? Like what do you like how do you feel about them?
I was hoping we actually get to this. They're the sole reason I'm not like stoked on the format right now. I think
Same.
sitting around playing with yourself is like not like I'm like looking for Book of Eclipses so I can like bring back Treeborn, Book of Eclipse, the Titanial Stardust, Caius or Ryza the Titanial and attack over the Stardust. Like that's where we are right now. We're like we need to make Book of Eclipse
everything down and then freaking RDA.
Yeah.
Peacock, get out of my head.
Yeah, we're just like
well, so I saved that for last because Ty mentioned he wanted to ask that. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. But if there's any person who is going to have the strongest opinion on that, it's David. Because, like you said, you play this format because the cards, well, they sucked, or they guess they still
bad.
do. But
every card but
being
Black
the
Rose,
format,
Braincon, and Dust Shoot is trash.
yeah, no, my issue with it is if you're going to play a deck like that, why not just go play Modern if you want no interaction or just insta win,
Because you want to win. Like that, I will never like even when like Dragon Turbo came out. Yeah, when people were playing Dragon Turbo, I was like, all right, 3 Fossil Dyna, like on the side, like every time, like die.
Yeah,
we're never not playing Dyna because like this is just and then the Gigabyte deck is literally just Dragon Turbo, but like 8 bricks less.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are still playing what they want to, though. I think that's my favorite thing is they're not completely taking over because people are still playing what they want to in this format.
Because I love Lone Fire Blossom, and I was like, oh, a plant deck, that's awesome. I love plants, and then I like watched it play. I was like, maybe not this plants.
I treat the Gigabytes deck anytime I'm playing against. I treat it just like Dragon Turbo. I just drop mass damage and swing for the fences and just put them on a clock.
I just like decks I can slam Zombie World against it. Just if you slam Zombie World, you're like big chillin'.
I was talking a little bit about it, but I actually mentioned it earlier in this call, but outside of exactly Phoenix and Wind Blast, and then for Borgs, outside of exactly Flip Flop Frog, how do they out King Tiger Wengu?
They don't. They just get a little better each time.
I like how you lowered your voice for that one, Ty. You were like, they don't.
I was trying to hit y'all with the Cleveland Brown.
I knew it, bro. I was like, that sounds just like Cleveland.
But that's something I've been thinking about testing in the side for them. I'm like outside of the exact game, can't really main it game one unless you're playing something dedicated to hate it. But like if you're playing anything in my DB here, I've been considering just main decking a single Vandies because they're the same two cards outside of Wing Blast and Flip Flop Frog. Like they can't out a main deck Vandy.
It works. It works.
Similar, so
that Vandy
thing. Gotta stick the King Tiger early. I mean, I guess because I guess with King Tiger sucking priority, you can't do like the subsido thing. So you basically just kind of have to get to Desmond. That's your out. Desmond somehow.
Yeah.
Gores.
Yeah. Set Duke Frog and then let them attack into the next turn tribute for the Death Frog.
There's your one out there.
There you go.
No, but we're absolutely going for the Book of Eclipse.
Borgs is only cool because it plays Fishwork Blaster and that card's played in Fishhook TK. Fishhook TK is the best rock deck. Everyone knows that. Adding a bully me into buying that deck. That was the one thing that
I know two people who've been bullied into buying Fishhook TK.
He's like, you like Coelacanth. I was like, I played it in Decade Duels like all the time, so I was like, fine, yeah, sure. Like I even bought like the Abyssal King Shark. It's like, yeah, I'm never gonna play this, but I think that this card looks cool, and it's like $17.
Why not? Man, I love how he looks.
He's cool. He just looks neat. I know Metabo Shark is strictly better, but he doesn't look cool like Abyssal King Shark.
Bro, I can't look at Metabo Shark for even 2 seconds without thinking of Bruce from Finding Nemo. I'm dead ass. Like
I saw that movie in the theaters. That's how old I am.
I too saw it in theaters. I just was not coherent. I was Baba Boo Boo Yu-Gi-Oh.
The one movie I was Baba Boo Boo in the theater. My first ever movie was Space Jam. I'm glad.
Oh hell yeah! Let's
first
go.
Movie I ever saw in theaters was Space Jam.
Same. I love Space Jam, and my daughter. I showed it to her, and she absolutely loved it. Now all she talks about wanting to the sport she wants to play in school is basketball.
That's absolutely sick. There's an emo band from Nashville. They were a band. They were called Secret Stuff because of the
I love that so much.
Yeah, the Space Jam for some reason was like if you get into like the twinkly emo Midwest bands or whatever, they like these Space Jam memes were like the thing. I was like, good. This is good. I'm glad that the thing that I like is culturally relevant in my like super tiny subculture.
So I have a quick funny story to tell you to everybody, and then we'll wrap it up. So speaking of Space Jam, so y'all remember that scene in the movie where what was MJ's assistant in the movie where he's like digging like like where he's digging like at the golf course, like trying to like dig for like to go find like the W like
trying to find Michael in the golf hole.
Yeah, like at the Looney Tunes sign or whatever. Like, and you know how like you see in the movie where they're going through that sign, like you see like Bugs and everybody go through that sign during the movie. So when I was a kid, and after I saw that movie, I decided I was going to try. I went in my backyard with my dad's shovel and dug the biggest hole possible, looking for that.
That rules so much.
I spent an entire when I tell you I spent an entire summer day looking for cartoon characters underground.
That's God tier. I love that so much.
You know what? Maybe like iPad babies aren't the worst things. You know?
Well, I would say like here in Missouri, you couldn't do that because we just grow rocks. Like I'm an electrician. I do a lot of like work under like a lot of electricals underground. It's damn near impossible to dig most times because every few like inches is rock. So
yeah,
you'd be able to do it here.
We had no backyard after that. It was gone.
All right.
Well, respectable.
David, it has been a pleasure having you on. We do have to wrap it up because we don't want to go too long. I'm sure we could talk for hours, but I do want to have you on again, when Cat again is available. That'd be awesome to have like a returning episode and get the other part of Who Needs Meta. So that would be really, really cool. But
Always love a
definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did you say?
it's really cool.
No, I say always love a good fellow dark guy enjoyer.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I'm actually working on that deck right now. It's going to be my next like forte that I like, try and pursue because I see there's a lot of different ways to play it. Some people aren't playing release from Stone and some are, so I want to try both ways. But
Bro showed up with insects last week to Loki. He's always on some fucking pile. I love it.
oh my god, I love that. I love the creativity. I love like how much passion he has with just like showing up with whatever he wants to fucking play. Next is going to be Psychics with Panda Borg.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we already have a guy playing Psychics doing the Mind Master OTK with the guy that attacks twice for 4K and you just lose. And it's like, all right, I'm glad I played.
Yeah, no, there's so much more that we gotta talk about when we have him on. I'm sure it'll be even more wild that time.
Yeah, we can definitely do a part 2.
Oh, no, yeah, no, we have to. But no, seriously, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, guys. This has been a really great episode, and this is Ty, Austin Deckard, and Rage Peacock, Ethan Slaughter, Radis Lad, and Who Needs Meta from the Edison Club podcast. Signing off until the next one. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Hamster Ryko Caius. I go check the pairings, I'm like, don't know who this guy is. Hamster Ryko Caius, Hamster Ryko Caius. 2-0 every round, man, and I ain't even trying. It's just Hamster Ryko Caius, Hamster Ryko Caius, Hamster Ryko Caius.